Hello, good evening and welcome to the draw for next Easter's ABN AMRO EHL Finals. Firstly, an apology if you've been waiting since 7 o'clock. A couple of technical gremlins. There's storms rolling around Barcelona and they've just thrown a couple of spanners in the works. It follows a stunning week of action here in Barcelona, beautiful Spanish sunshine, and we're just hoping, myself, Simon Mason, my guest Peter Elders, that we're not going to get wet as we go through this. The action here has been fantastic. It's given us a taster of what is to come. The first major announcement, however, is that we can confirm our venue for the marquee event in the European club calendar. We're going back to Den Bosch. Next Easter, last season's venue will once again be the stage where the world's best club competition concludes. We're going to have a feast of hockey. 20 elite teams are going to battle it out over 6 days for club hockey's biggest title. It's going to be set around a backdrop of hockey for all, however. Because of ABN AMRO's incredible support, we can showcase the EHL Hockey ID programme and the under-14 tournaments as well. But we do need to define that elite action. And we have today's draw for the EHL Women's Final 12 and the EHL Men's Final 8 competitions here live in Barcelona. To help me with the draw, we have my friend and chairman of the EHL board, Peter Elders. Peter, welcome to this live draw. Fantastic event for us to just hold on to. Before we go to that, however, just a couple of questions. Firstly, is it good that we're going back to Den Bosch? Personally, I think it's great, but it's good to go back to the same venue.
Yeah, I think it's great. It was good last year. It's a great venue with now more experienced people. And there's room enough, so we're looking forward to it.
And with ABN AMRO's support, we're able to transform this just from that elite competition. I know that's what a lot of people tune in for, but to something much bigger, much more inclusive.
Yeah, you're right. The EHL is very important, will be very important that weekend, but so is the Hockey ID Championship, and so is the under-14 EHL. Where the future EHL stars will play. So what we're aiming for is a big festival on, and Den Bosch is big enough to organize that.
Well, we look forward to that. But the EHL itself, it's been the hotbed for inspiration and change way back, and it was a long time. Scared me when I looked it up today. 2011, we had confirmation that self-pass became a rule. Yeah. That was born from the EHL. Anything new on the horizon with you as chairman of the board?
Frankly, I'm too new. My head is bursting with ideas, but I keep them for myself, but they will be there.
Well, we look forward to seeing them when they come to fruition. So straight on, however, let's get on with the draw. And first, we're going to focus on the women's competition. This is going to feature 12 teams from no less than 8 different countries. The draw sees the national champions from the top 4 nations on the EHL ranking table receive a bye to the final 8 phase. That means that our hosts, Den Bosch, Braxgata, Harvestehude and Club de Campo de Madrid are all already through to the last 8 of the competition. The remaining 8 qualifiers, they're going to be drawn to face each other on an open basis in the final 12 round. Quite simply, the first name drawn is going to go into the first open spot on our draw sheet, the second into the second spot, and so on. So here is to the draw. Peter, this is your responsibility now. May I give you a word of advice? Don't drop the balls. Okay?
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Really simple. Let's keep it really straightforward. So, first up, please. Who is our first team? So the first team out, we have Railway Union Hockey Club. Railway Union, the Dubliners, they made history last Easter. They were the first Irish club to win an EHL women's fixture, and they beat MSC Sumchanka. Peter, who are they going to play? Not the easiest things to open, I agree. They will play Watsonian Hockey Club. Watsonian Hockey Club, that's the Scottish champions. They're going to make their EHL debut in 2026, the first club from their country to play in this competition. So Railway Union will play Watsonians. Their prize is that they go on to face Den Bosch in the final 8. Obviously, Den Bosch almost needs no introduction. Europe's most successful club, winners of the EHL Women in 2021, 2023 and 2025. So on to the next pair of teams. Peter, who have we got next? The third team in the draw. We have SK Slavia Prague. They became the first Czechia women's side to play in the EHL in 2024. And who will they be playing? So SK Slavia Prague will take on Gantoise Hockey Club. Now there's a team to play. The Belgian club, they had a campaign to remember last Easter. They won bronze after wins over Mannheim and Dusseldorf. Whoever wins that will play Club de Campo from Madrid. The Spanish Giants, well, they reached the EHL Women's Final in 2021 and 2023, and they took silver both times. So we move on. The third pairing in the draw. We have Reading. I have to declare a vested interest, having played for them for about 15 years. Not the women's team, that is. So Reading will be team number 5. The English club, well, they're among the EHL women debutantes next year following their run to national glory earlier this year. And who will they play? They will play Mannheimer Hockey Club from Germany. The German club, they were EHL women's runners-up in 2024. The winner of that matchup, well, they play Harvesterhude. Harvesterhude, the Hamburg club, they're going to play their first EHL women's event. They last played in Europe, would you believe it, in 1975. So that's Harvesterhude will meet the winners of Reading versus Mannheimer. So on to the last pair, Peter, team number 7. Who do we have? Team number 7 is Stixa. The club from Bilthoven, they won their first EHL medal in 2024 with bronze, and they're going to be keen to push for that ultimate title. We should be able to predict this if we've ticked these off down here.
Yep.
I'm going to go, hopefully this has got Club Egara when you take it out, which means that everything is correct.
Would be helpful.
It would be helpful.
And it is.
There we go. Confirmation that the 8th team in the draw is Club Egara. Club Egara, well, the Spanish side, they qualified for their first EHL women's event as Copa de la Reina champions, and they'll be looking forward to taking on Stixa. The winner of that game takes on Braxgata. The Belgian side, they were the breakthrough side last Easter, winning silver on debut. So just confirmation of that draw. We have Railway versus Watsonians, and they take on Den Bosch. We have SK Slavia Prague taking on Gantoise in the first round. They will play Club de Campo of Madrid, the winner of that, sorry. Then we have Reading will take on Mannheimer Hockey Club. The winner of that takes on Harvesterhude of Germany. And then in the last pairing, we have Stixa taking on Club Egara, and the winner of that will take on Braxgata. Really exciting. I know that you're really glad, Peter, that simply you didn't draw Stixa against Den Bosch, but anything particular there that features? I mean, the Reading Mannheimer, if Mannheimer were to go through, then we have an all-German clash?
Yeah, I'm totally neutral, you know, but that is the match I was looking at, because if Reading wins, they play twice a German team, and if they do not, then we have a German clash in the next round.
Be really exciting to see. So moving on to the men's competition, therefore. In the men's competition, slightly different. What we've got is we have taking place in the final 8 format. The draw in the men's competition sees the national champions from the top 4 nations on the EHL ranking table. They're seeded on the final 8 draw sheet. AH and BC Amsterdam, they're going to be at the top of the draw. Crefeld Hockey Club are in the second quarter-final. Surbiton are in the third section, and then reigning champions Gantoise await in the fourth section. The same principle as the women's draw. Who plays them is decided on an open basis, with the first name drawn out of the bowl filling the first space available, second drawn second, etc., etc. So, here we go. First up in that draw, who do we have? The first team drawn, Peter, please, is... We have Hamburger Polo. Hamburger Polo Club, they're one of the standout sides from the KO16 this week here in Barcelona. They qualified with wins over Wimbledon and Saint-Germain. And as we said, they're going to play against AH and BC Amsterdam. Well, the Dutch Giants, quite simply, they're hoping to end a 10-year wait for an EHL medal. That dates back to 2016. So first up, that's an incredible matchup to start with Hamburger versus Amsterdam. Second up then, please, Peter. The second team out of the draw is SV Kampong. SV Kampong, well, they're the 2016 EHL men's winners. They've won medals in the competition on no less than 3 occasions, and they're going to play Crefeld Hockey Club. They were the surprise German champions to some degree, and they've not played in the EHL since October 2007. So limited experience for them at this level. However, a fantastic matchup to say the least. So that's Kampong against Crefeld. Next team, please, Peter. As we undo the accordion of paper in front of us, we have Club de Campo of Madrid, well known across Euro Hockey League. They were silver medalists in 2011, and the Spanish champions, well, they're hoping to make it to the Final Four for a 3rd time. They match up against Surbiton, who made it through. The English champions, they were bronze medalists in 2022. That was their highlight from 6 EHL campaigns. That's Club Campo taking on Surbiton. So hopefully we know who's going to come out of here. The final team to come out is Old Georgians Hockey Club. Well, first and foremost, winners of a shootout here in Barcelona. Fantastic emotion-packed game. They're England's dominant force in recent years, and they're in the final 8 for a 3rd successive season. Their reward for that shootout run is to come up against Gantoise. Gantoise, quite simply the reigning champions, and they will look to become just the 2nd club to retain the EHL men's title. So that concludes the draw. We have AH and BC Amsterdam against Hamburger. We have Kampong taking on Crefeld. We have Club Campo de Madrid taking on Surbiton. And we have Old Georgians taking on the reigning champions, Gantoise. Peter, thank you very much for your help. We didn't get wet. The storm clouds continue to roll in. You didn't drop any balls, and we can look forward to EHL finals in Den Bosch next Easter. Thank you for joining us. That is how it all matches up. 20 elite teams taking to the field in the Netherlands next Easter, with the surrounding Hockey ID events, the Under-14 Championships, the very best that European club hockey has to offer. Keep track of all the digital platforms across social media, because we're going to have schedules and ticketing announcements coming. We hope that you can join us on site for what is truly a fantastic event. If you can't, it'll be streamed across all of the usual platforms and you can join us there. Thanks for watching the draw. We hope your club, the club you're interested in, has got a draw that you're happy with. If not, well, we'll take to the field and see who can win next Easter. Good night.
Thank you.